parts. Tom Kikar, a lot of moving parts. And think about how structurally one would refer, try to think of the structure of it all. Well, Tom Kikar is, if I was doing some structural diagram or some social philosophic thought, Tom Kikar is what? What would we refer to it as? What would be a term for it in terms of how it is, how it functions? I'll take almost anything to begin with.
It's like
Is the
an
question
axiom?
understood?
Like
It's another halacha, but in our discussion, our discussion analysis, how does it work? What is it?
I could give something.
Oh,
I
Rabbi.
don't know if nobody else wants to say anything, but
Yeah, I want to hear from you.
I would say it's the force going against the idea of bittul baro.
Yeah, but see, you're already getting into that. I just want to say, like, structurally, what is it? You're giving to me already, giving me the Torah, which is the parse you're right. But that, okay, I'll say it is. So
It's like a
I guess I'm
natural law of
looking for
these.
something only I understand. Yes, Isaac. I apologize, Rabbi. Yes, Isaac.
Sorry. It's like a guiding principle of how to understand.
Okay, a guiding principle of how to understand. Okay, fine. It's a guiding principle. See, I'm not doing the rest. It's already getting to the Torah itself. But it's a guiding principle. I like that. Anybody else? Okay. I had down in my thoughts, it was a working principle, a working theorem of how things happen. It's the great working theorem that we're dealing with. How does that relate to min b'mino, min she'eno mino? In other words, if that's the working theorem or working principle, working theorem, working principle, what does min b'mino, min b'she'eno mino in those terms?
So I think it may end up making us more makil in min
Okay, you're
b'mino.
doing psak halacha, but in
Well,
terms
no,
of
I'm just
thinking
saying
it through,
it plays against how we understand min b'mino.
plays against. I'd like to hear more about that, but not now. I do want to hear more about
Yeah.
that. I would say yes, Josie.
So it's if you think Tom Kikar is sort of the axiom, then min b'mino.
How about working principle theorem? Yeah, don't change that on me yet. Okay.
So if it's our working, it provides the framework through which we can establish something as, what does it mean for min b'mino as a derivative of this? What does it mean for min b'she'eno mino?
Okay, this is a beginning. But how does min b'mino and min b'she'eno relate back to the? Oh, okay. So these are, no, I'm hearing what you're saying. So these are that's good. These are the ways it makes itself manifest. Those are the
reifies it almost.
reifies. And, and in doing so, it will test it, it will form it. Tom Kikar goes through definitions. Min b'mino goes through definitions. Then with that, we have questions on, just to talk about, we have some interesting questions. If there's Tom, whatever happened to mamash? If Tom is taste, whatever happened to the substance? Or Tom's obviously the flavor. What about the substance? Where's that? We talk about that. Ikar, how much of an ikar is it? Does it always play out? The minim that we have here, whether they're green minis or whatever they are, the minim, they are, what's the mean? Really, what's the mean? How do I identify a mean? What makes for a mean? With that, there's a heck of a lot of other things. And we have a tremendous guide, our thinker in the Beis Yosef, a man who needs no introduction. So why am I talking about him? But he takes us through, but he's thinking it through for us using, emphasis on the Rishonim, but with the assumption, the basic Gemaras that we went through earlier this year. On that basis, is that okay? Anybody has anything else with this to add to what I was saying? Even however I made it up. Is there anything else there? Let's see for myself. I have a note on that. Let's see. There's something I'm missing, I'm forgetting. Yeah. And we see when it plays out, what's the significant, major thing? What's the status of Tam Ki'ikar? And the status of the Pesukim that prove Tam Ki'ikar? Is it Yeraisa? Is it Derabanan? Its status itself is of incredible significance. And we say how it plays out. It plays out of what kind of Isur does it produce in its various manifestations. And if you say it's Yeraisa, the other uses of it is also Yeraisa, not Yeraisa. And the significance of the ramification of being over, of transgressing, of its what happens as it is used. And I'm referring to Malkot. When should he get whipped? All these things are, I think, what really, now go back to what I was saying before, Beis Yosef takes us through this, and he's, I think he's a very, very fine guide. Now, in terms of what we did at the second part of Shiur last week, or the third part of Shiur, I just want to remind a few things, and we're in Tzadichet. We are in Bet, and in the Beis Yosef there, which the first part of Beis Yosef on Bet, please talk about Rashi's psak, but he brings up the fact that Rabbi Yehuda, bringing back the Gemaras, Rabbi Yehuda holds a min b'mino lo batil, and Rav and Shmuel both say the min b'mino b'mashahu. By the way, how do these two things relate? These two statements. If you say min b'mino lo batil, and there's another statement from someone else, min b'mino b'mashahu. Well, yes, Josie?
They're equivalent. You can't, in other words, you can't be mavatel in any amount.
Right, but what does mashahu mean?
Any amount, anything.
So in any amount. Okay, fine. What does it mean? Does mashahu refer to the beginning of the process of this contamination of Isur going to Heter, or is it referring to the end? The beginning of the process or end of the process?
I think it's the, if I remember from the end of Avodah Zarah, it's the beginning, isn't it?
It's the beginning of the process, but it's the same thing. I agree with what you had said. But it's like from the rosh and the tail. And therefore the tail is, well, how can you do it? It's already a problem when it's mashahu. There's no way of getting rid of it. And Rabbi Yochanan, who comment? Okay. Who's comment? Okay. Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, right? It says that whether it's min b'mino, min she'eno mino, it's been no saying time, no tain time, excuse me. No saying time. Rashi paskins like who? It's the question. Who does Rashi paskin like?
Rabbi
Is he
Yehuda.
paskin either like Rabbi Yehuda and Rav and Shmuel, or is he paskin like Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish?
The first group.
the first group, that's true. And Rabbeinu Tam, well, the Rush as a later Tosfos, so to speak, he paskins like, seemingly, like number two. The number of Rabbi Yochanan, that great duo, Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. So that we said, as we did this, our background. And then we have here, who agrees with Rabbeinu Tam, Rush Rabbeinu Tam, right? You have it there. You have the Rush, you have the Rif, the Rif changed around, but the Rif, the corrected Rif, the Ran, the Rambam, right? You have the Rashba, you have, who else do you have? You have the Rivash B'Shem Kol Acharonim, right? That's a pretty good statement, right? And all those are saying that, yes, Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, the mean b'mino is that mean b'mino and mean the eno mino, I didn't say it right before, are benosing tam. Tam is the whole deal. Since it has tam, it could also be batel. But it's benosing tam. That's the whole thing. It's benosing tam. Okay. What else from last week I need to do? Okay. So then let's go back to the second section. Masha Omar Od Rabbeinu, Shelo b'mino asr min Torah ad shishim. Shelo b'mino. So now we have the mino and shelo b'mino. Okay, we did some of this last time, but let's do it better this time. Max, will you read, please? Garcinan, Beperik Gita Nasha.
Sorry, I was writing something down. In the Beis Yosef, you're saying?
In the Beis Yosef. Beperik Gita Nasha, Masha Omar Od Rabbeinu, Shelo b'mino asr min Torah ad shishim.
Sorry, can I take the next one? I just
Yeah, fine. Ori, can you do that? Found it?
I think I have it. Umashakatav od Rabbeinu v'shalo b'mino asur mina Torah ad shishim. So we're talking about the tour now?
We're talking now, we're in the Beis Yosef.
Yes, but he's
He's referring to the Torah. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, yeah. Garcinan Amar Rabbi Chia bar Ava Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi.
No, but I'm interested in the Beis Yosef.
Yes.
I got it.
I'm in the Beis Yosef, yeah, he's quoting.
My apology. Okay, Garcinan Amar Rabbi Yeshua bar Ava
Amar
Amar
Rabbi
Yeshua
Chia
ben
bar
Levi.
Ava
Go
Amar Rabbi
ahead.
Yeshua ben Levi Kol Yisrim B'Torah B'Shishim. The Rav Asi, our Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi Kol Yisrim B'Torah B'Kuf B'Mea U'Shnehem Lo Lamduha Ela Mizra B'Shela Umi Alfinan Minei. So we're going into the Gemara that they try to connect 60 and 100 to Zerah B'Shela, sort of, and then they immediately challenge this. Umi alfinan minei v'hatanya zeu heter haba miklal isur.
What's the Zehu?
Zehu lemeute mai. What is
What is the Zehu? I'm asking you. Zehu is a big word.
Yeah. It was Zerah B'Shela.
Zerah B'Shela. But there too is limute.
Limute mai. Lav limute kol yisur Shabbat Torah.
Which would mean what? That this whole Zerah B'Shela paradigm is only good for itself and for, well, right now for itself. Maybe we'll say Kachim later in a moment. But it has no relevance to our situation. Right? It has nothing to do. All that 1600 that's there has nothing to do with our Chulin, and with Chulin Shari Surim. Nothing to do with that. Okay, Rava responds.
אמר, אבל לא נצחה אלא לטעם כעיקר דבקודשים. אסור. כמשמע לן. Or wait, on Kamash Malone. So yeah, the only thing we would,
Mashmalan, the Hachashari. Okay.
the
right.
Hachashari, right? It would only be to exclude or no, what you could learn to Tam Ki Kar in Kudshim would be
And
also.
and only in
Only in Zorobashela Shari.
Okay, so fine. But what does it mean here? Commercial and the Hachashari.
Only in the weird case of Zorobashela.
The Hacha is
Oh no, sorry. The Hacha would be non-Chulin cases.
non-chulin cases.
Sorry, Chulin cases, non-Kudshim cases.
Chulin cases, yeah. Hachashari. The Ligmar Mineh, so maybe that should be, what's the Ligmar Mineh mean?
So why don't we learn from that?
And then we'll be fine. But the Goli Rachmana,
Gabe chatat yikadesh liot kamoha.
in other words, the whole principle of Tam Ki Ikar, you can learn it from Chatos of Kodshim. Okay, Yikadesh Lios Kamoha, Uma Chazris.
Uma chazis de gamart mihach. Nigmar miha.
In other words, let's just get through it. Why can't this become the principle? And let's learn from Zerah B'Shela. Why you have to go so far from Chatos? And the answer is
Chidushu umichidush lo gamrinan.
right, because it's an exemption, not exemption. It's a what's a good term for a chiddush? It's a novelty, or it's a one and only. Ihachi.
Shishim nami lo ligmar. Techidushu. Therefore, also 60 we're not going to learn because that's also a chidush.
Right. And they answer Parkinan.
Umfarkinan atu anan lekula gamrinan. Lechumran.
The Chumra Gamrinan.
Lechumra gamrinan.
The Midiaraisa.
Midoraisa beruva batil.
So what's going on? So what's he saying? What's he saying?
Is it the Beit Yosef's voice now?
Yeah, I'm asking you. It's the Gemara. What's the Gemara
Still
saying?
the Gemara. Okay, that's why I'm getting confused. So we can't learn from this because we would learn that for a kula, but we're not going to learn it. Sorry, we would learn it for a chumrah, but we're not going to learn it for a kula.
Well, we're not learning it for a kula. You thought maybe we're learning it for a kula, and be a kula, then we don't do the chiddush. It's a chiddush over there. You can't tell me a kula over here, based on that chiddush over there. But actually, we're using it for a chumrah. Why is it a chumrah? Because it's already batel. Because we have the principle achrei rabim lahatot. It's already batel barov. So what's it saying about the whole structure of 60, 100, whether it's 60 or whether it's 100? What's
a chumrah from Rov.
It's a chumrah. We don't know from here who's chumrah. My assumption here is in the reading of the Gemara, which we just did, the chumrah is its own d'oraita chumrah. The Torah tells us, okay, in generally, we're speaking, achrei rabim lahatot. However, we have by Zerah B'Shela a chumrah that you have to have 60, 100 in order to be mevatel. The Torah itself, I'm saying right now, in terms of reading it, the Torah itself brings its own chumrah against the statement, which is an amazing statement that we say in Isurim, and I should have said that as part of the things that we're dealing with. They had this like a universal wipeout statement that Acharei Rabbi Atot, the pasuk that tells us that that one is batul barov, one is batul and two, one is batul barov, and therefore you don't, But no. So what's the whole thing of this Zorah B'Shela? Zorah B'Shela is giving us the numbers that we apply to our situation, to our, from the from the Zorah B'Shela, we apply it to our situation to give us a chumrah. On what stance we are, D'Oraisa or D'Rabbanan, I don't know yet, but that's how it's working. That's how it's coming out. Now, the Kosav Aran.
Why wouldn't it be Doraita if we're saying it's the Torah
I
saying it
know.
in case of
Well,
Zebushay?
let's see later, see if we all agree to that or not. Okay? That's what I'll say. Okay?
Right.
I
The
did
Kosav
read it that. I did read it that way, as the Torah itself saying that. But let's go on. The Kosav Aran.
Kosav Aran Deha Milta Kula de Gamrina Mizra B'Sheila. Asmachta Ba'almahu. So the Ran
Okay.
explains that, yeah, but that's just an asmachta for something that we already have. We already have 60. The Hamidoraita Beruba Batil, because we know that it's really going to be Rov Midoraita. V'hainu Taima Mishum, and the reason for that is Mishum.
So who's
Mizra
applying
B'Sheila.
to 60 when you say an asmachta? Who uses an asmachta?
The Gemara is bringing
And the
asmachta.
Gemara, and who are those people? What are they called? The rabbis, right? The rabbis are using it, and they're using it. And what's an asmachta? It's the use of a Torah learning that seems so compelling that we need to hear someone to say, "Hey, it's only an asmachta," which means that whole principle of 60 and 100 is itself not necessarily, we'll have to see later, not necessarily a Torah principle. Because here in that pasuk, it just, that pasuk is a made-up attachment. We rely on it because it's very convincing. We rely on it because we all get fooled by it in a good way. We rely on it because the system can work very well with it. Beruba bato v'hainu, the hab b'doraisa beruba bato. Keep on going.
V'hainu Taima Mishum de Mizra B'Sheila Leka Lemigbar. Right, because
So that we're going
ultimately,
to talk about. In other words, we're saying we're not doing it from Zorah B'Sheila. We're not doing it from the pasuk. Where does the so we're left with it on a Drabanan level right now, I think. And now we go on to Perish Rashi. So Max, you there? It's the big in the normal tour. It's big block letters. By the way, Jacob, do you have the place? I'm just checking with people. Jacob, you have the place?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad I asked. Okay, now go ahead, Max.
Pirish Rashi Latam Ki Iker. No same tam Kimlan de Aser Bekochim Ki Iker Mamasho Shel Iser.
Okay, now he's explaining things.
Okay.
The time Keker is a what? It's a functional theorem, it's a functional principle. In what range? I'm asking you.
What do you mean by range?
What area does it work?
Kachim, I see.
In Kachim.
Yeah.
That's a lot different than Chulin. That's Kachim.
Yeah.
The Kata of Rashi.
Because of Rashi Od, de Midika Amar Rava de Bekochim Aser, Mashma de Leisle Tam Ki Iker Bechulin. Ela Midrabanan.
Whoa. For me, this is like a big thing. Tam Pikar, very big principle. It works in and it is min b'mino, min b'shelo mino is a function of understanding Tam Pikar. And right now we're saying what? It is Drabanan. As Rashi understood the Gemara cited by the Beis Yosef. Okay, so I'm talking too much. Go on.
Uki de Mefarish v'Azil de Midoraisa beruba batil v'hachinami beruba batil. right?
Right.
Because it's
It's already but
it's on right, it's right. V'hachinami shma'inan l'Rabbi Yochanan de'amar b'perek b'asar d'avodah zara kol sheta'amo v'lo mamasho ein lo kin alav. And let me-
okay, but you have to continue.
right,
In
yeah,
other words, that's
yeah,
just to set
that's
up
the
what's
setup.
going
That's the
on.
setup.
If
Yeah.
it's Tom and not Mamish,
Yeah.
no Malchus, the Ha.
The hadi alfinan b'psachi mishras liten tam kicker.
Like, because that's a
Spirit-
source, right? That's the source.
Right.
The Tom Kicker, we gotta go, we have another Torah source.
Yeah.
You see the pull now to try to rescue it from being a drabanan and bring it back to being a deraisa, which is how I would venture to say all of us came into Shiur today. The Heilige Tom Kicker, we wanted to be back into our Torah status. Okay, what's the mishras?
The Nazir case.
The Nazir case, just quickly.
Whether or not something has whether or not some sort of grape product has been has infected bread or something else.
Right. So we say Tom, there's a Tom that comes in. So the Tom is no, so it's really it impacts the juice, right? The juice impacts on the substance, and it becomes puzzle, right? And puzzle becomes ulcer. It's an Easter.
Yeah.
The Tom Kicker sphere lay. No, I'm sorry. The Mishras Litain Tom Kicker. We have a response now. Comma.
Svir lahu la'amorai batrae de asmachta ba'almuhu.
The cut down. The cut down. It's not in the Torah. A cut down. And we say.
Right. V'lav me'elavu.
V'lav me'elavu. And we can't learn from it.
Right.
We can't say, let's make a derisa extraction for it. Why?
Nazir v'gi'ule goyim shnei ksuvim.
Gule goyim is which case? Instead of goyim, you can say gule. Midyan. You all learned that, right?
Yeah.
Shnei.
V'gi'ule midyan shnei ksuvim haba'im ke'achad.
And what's the din with shnei ksuvim ba'im ke'achad?
Can't learn.
Can't learn. It's a unique into themselves. These two and none else. If there was one, you expand it everywhere. Once there's two, it means two and no more.
Inami giule midyan chidish hu kidam rinan hasam umishras leheter mitzaref le'iser.
Okay. So in other words, we got rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have Rashi. Rashi is demoted. You heard me this 3 times. That's 5 times saying it. But he's demoted the whole system. The whole system. I say demoted. And I don't know else how to say it. He demoted it to a drabanan level, right? Don't be fooled by a smachtot. Be a tam b'chacham. The Tosfos.
The Tosfos hikshu al divrei Rashi ulefichach pirshuhem be'inyan acher ve'erichu harbe be'inyan zeh be'perek Yidonashe u'perek basar d'avodah zara.
It was to get rid of all of Rashi's proofs, which he's not telling you how they do it, right?
V'yizkiru dvarim elu harosh ve'haran ve'harashba be'Torah Sabayis.
So now we have 3 spokesmen for the Tosfos side. How is it that Tosfos still sees it at Tam Ki'ikar as a derisa? And in those three explanations, we'll see a whole philosophy, or philosophy is a big term, but a whole understanding of Tam Ki'ikar, how it relates to some of the things we brought up already. Maybe you do a little bit more.
Ve'zeloshan harosh be'perek Yidonashe u'pireish Rabbeinu Tam detam ki'ikar b'min b'she'eno mino deoraisa.
Oh, Yofi. Tam Ki'ikar min b'she'eno mino deoraisa. Now explains what happens.
דכיוון שנתן האיסר טעם בהתר, נהפך כולו להיות איסר, ולא קינא עליו בחזאיס, כאילו היה כולו איסור.
And how do you read the word ki'ilu haya?
As if?
Yeah, as if what? As
Uh,
if it was still in its prior state of being heter. And but then we're saying like it always was. I'm going to say it better. It's like we're saying this. It so impacts the Easter, so impacts on the heter, making it Easter. It's like it always was Easter. In other words, it's a full straight out. We don't say it's a derivative. We don't say it's another generation. We don't use the term conversion, which is a good term, but in other words, you don't use conversion. Nah, it has its own yichus. That is the transformative power of Easter through the present, through the working theorem of Tam Ke'iker. All right, keep on going. He.
והי דרבי יוחנן, דכל שטעמו ולא ממשו, אין לו קינא עליו, מיירי
And
במין...
that's a phrase. It was explaining that phrase that was earlier used. That he said, it said the call. What is it saying? Tam Ke'iker. I'm sorry. What did you say? What was the time? Tam Ke'iker.
טעמו ולא ממשו,
Yeah. I'm sorry. Tam Oglom show. Yeah.
אין לו קינא עליו, so that seems like not a doraisa. מיירי במין במינו. וטעמו ממשו דכאמר דלא קין, היינו
Myri b'min b'mino. I would put a period there.
Okay.
The ta'amo, you got puns here all over, but whatever.
Yeah.
The ta'amo, and the reason.
Wait, is it not
No,
utamo?
I'm not saying it
Mamasho is
right.
in flavor?
I know, get rid of that comma. Utamo umama show. So it's a period after min b'mino. The ta'amo umama show.
Right, the tam and the mamesh that he's talking about, delokin, hainu kisha iser ba'ayin umakiro.
And or we pronounce sometimes ben. I'm just saying, I pronounce it ben. Ba'ayin is fine by me. So what's it telling us?
So he's just said that it's deoraisa, but you also have this statement of Rabbi Yochanan that says ta'am is not lokin, which means not deoraisa. And so you need to, I guess, find a place for that. And Rabbeinu Tam is saying that the type of ta'am velo mamish that you don't get malkos for is min bemino.
The komar the lokin hainu kisha iser ben the lokin. So that's the first part of our statement. The Tam and Mama show, right? First part of his explanation. The Tam and Mama show together when they're, by the way, two necessary pieces here. It has to be be'en. It has to actually exist. I mean, umakiro. That empirical part of all these halachas, you have to be able to notice it. It has to be noticeable. Not just theoretically it's there, or we know that, no, it has to be be'en. And then the next principle, or the next resulting, the corollary, ta'amo.
Ta'amo velo mamasho, aser midrabanan, ve'ein lo.
Which means deraisa tzmutter, right? There's aser derabanan.
Yeah.
Ve'ein lo kinalav. Yeah. V'hu
adin, im haya iser mamish ba'ayin, ela she'ein nikar. All right, the same goes. Okay.
Yeah, a couple more words.
Okay, ein lokin alav. Ki hu batel birov, ela hakamash malan, da'afilu hachi aser midrabanan. Aser midrabanan.
Midrabanan, yeah. So what we got? So
he's saying that in min b'mino, Tam Ke'iker is derabanan. That's basically what he's saying. In min b'mino, where it's the same flavor, we do have the principle of Tam Ke'iker, but then it's only at the level of derabanan. Because really there is no
right. So, but that's why he says. Okay, that's why he says. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I just lost my spot. Oh, sorry. What are the words before Hachi Asur B'Darabanan? The line before, I'm losing my line, losing my sight.
Utamo mamasho de ka'amar delokin.
Tamo, Velo Mamash, no, that's Asur.
Right before that. Is that Ha'i de Rabbi Yochanan? Is that what you're looking for?
No, wait, I'm looking for what precedes is Derabanan. In other words, the line before
והוא הדין,
says,
אם היה האיסור ממש באין.
right, okay, wait, but here it says, Ela she, right, the ads, Im haya yisur mamash be'ein, right, thank you, I got it. Ela she'ein nikar, ein lokin alav, because it's like it's not there. Ki batel barov, it's not there. By being batel barov, it's not just about halachic status, it means it's batel in the robe, it's as if, or it isn't, it's not there. Ela mashmalon, but what's it telling us? Dafilu, next word, hachi asur midarabanan. I'm interested in this term, afilu hachi asur midarabanan. Why is he compelled to say it this way? Afilu nonetheless. Why is he saying nonetheless? I'm not asking for a big Kiddush. Why does he say nonetheless?
You might have thought that once it's batel barov, it's much to eat it.
Right.
So
In
he's saying,
other
but
words,
no,
it's not the fact that it's lower to Rabbanan, where it's as if he's afraid that's going to, be in free fall. Going from Diraisa down to Rabbanan, and it doesn't even fit. It has. We're saying it has to be Tamu Mama Show. It has to be there, Tamu Mama Show. But okay. So there's no real Mama Show there. It's still us, sir. Boys and girls, don't eat it. It's still us, sir. I feel hachi. It doesn't get worse than that, but we need to continue.
Keep going.
Yeah, you're going.
V'hadanakat min b'mino b'tama afal gav de lo yahiv tama ze b'zeh. Mishum debai lamemar ta'amo v'lo mamasho aser. V'ad hechan hu aser.
Now, okay, so let me say the following. What are we doing right now? We just talked about mim b'shein mino. We said the mim b'shein mino, it needs to have mama show too. That sounds a little problematic. We'll get back to that. They'll be mataking that. They'll deal with your little confusion. Why it says, mino v'lo mam show, why is it not usher midiraisa? Okay, we'll talk about. But we just talked about mim b'mino. Mim b'sheino mino. And now we have a bigger problem. V'had naka mim b'mino the tama. What time does mim b'mino have? Right. Caleb, what time does mim b'mino have? Just tell me. If you have mim b'mino, what? No extra time. No different time. So what's this whole thing of having a measure of saying Batamba? Now he explains. Start reading again. Afagav next.
Afagav de lo yahiv tama ze b'zeh.
Right, it doesn't, right? You're
No.
right. I mean, there is no time function there.
Mishum debai lamemar ta'amo v'lo mamasho aser.
no, and keep reading.
V'ad hechan hu aser bichdei
And this is all a quote. Remember, this is all a quote from the Gemara. But hechan hu aser.
Bichdei diayiv tamo min b'she'eno mino. That it would have otherwise given time.
So what do we do?
Imagine it.
What do we do with min b'mino that we judge it by time, and there ain't no time? Caleb just told us there ain't no time. What's this whole other thing telling us? What do we do with this notion of time? What does this do for us, Max?
We we have to think of it as if there is as if it would be a case of min b'she'eino mino and what,
Right.
you know,
If this
What would
was
it take?
min b'she'eino mino, what would it take to have enough mama show in it to make sure that this time would work?
basar b'lefen or whatever.
Right. That's a big deal. That explains why you all of us didn't understand before. Min b'mino b'tam. Yes, it's still b'tam. Oh, tam doesn't work literally b'min b'mino. So use a different use the old standard min b'she'eino mino. What would it take there? And that will do it over here as well, preserving the notion of tam and actually keeping it, I guess, in some levels at the same level, min b'mino. So now they quote Rabbeinu Chaim. Rabbeinu Chaim was the chavrusa of Rabbeinu Tam, which is a pretty good chavrusa to have. Rabbeinu Tam.
Ask a quick check.
Yeah.
Are we saying this in the name of so far up to this point? Are we thinking more like Tosfos or like Rashi when we said that?
We're speaking about Tosfos right now.
That's what I thought. But okay.
That's what we're thinking. This is a explication. I don't know how much is a zone, but part of it's a zone, an explication of Rabbeinu Tam. And then we have Rabbeinu Chaim. And I'm going to ask you to continue, Max. Rabbeinu Chaim.
Rabbeinu Chaim Piresh, the Irish Shapir b'min b'she'eino mino, v'ta'amo umamasho. V'ta'amo umamasho kare, kishish kazayis b'ychtei achilas pras, de'az havi kimo mamasho shel iser, kevan de'yesh kol kach min ha'isr v'chulei, v'a'ochal mimenu kazayis loke kideh.
Loke, period.
Yeah.
So now he's giving us what the mama show is. What's the definition of mama show?
It's a kazayis b'ychtei achilas pras.
And how much is this kazayas? Well, later on we'll see, right? It's machlokas, but whether it's 4 beitzim or 3 beitzim. So how much of a mama show is it? Oh, here I wish I knew English better. It would be like a palimpse. Is that a word? Is it a word like that? It's like a shimmering. Shimmering is probably the wrong word for mamash. It's like it's minute. But you need, according to what we've been saying, is ta'amo can't work alone. It has to have at least, according to the Balei Tosos, at least something of a mamash. And the fact that it has something of a mamash, my explication, Tom can build on that. You say it's not really there, whatever, that Easter Tom, that Easter taste. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a taste. It's not there. Yeah, no. But why did you call it Lo Mama Show? It's really not. I mean, Mamish is not really there. Speak like a Chabadnik. Mamish is not really there, but it is there because it has a minute amount. And that becomes the definition there. We have Tam Umama Show, and then we have Tam V'lo Mama Show, but the Lo Mama Show, I'm sorry, just Tam Umama Show, right? Just Tam Umama Show, excuse me. It is a complete Easter. And then we've seen this, the Isas Orez, because you can make matzah out of that, or you can, because you can just say your day chovatot for challah. Okay, but whatever, it's just a minute amount. In other words, it works elsewhere in halacha. But talmo, now we come to the third definition. We know what tam umama show is. Now we have to know what is second definition. We have to know what tam v'lo mama show is. If tam umama show is the most most little amount, the most, what's time of lo mamasho? Let me go back and say one more thing again. The principle is tam ke'ikar. If it's time ke'ikar, why do you need mamasho? Well, you need mamasho because that's how it works, but it's the least amount of mamasho. Now, what do we do with tamo below mamasho? What's that in terms of definition? I knew.
היינו היכא דליקה כזייס בכדי אכילס פרס, ואף על פי שנעשנה עשר טעם בהתר, אין לו קין עליו. אין לו קין עליו.
Right. So therefore, tamo below mamasho is what?
It's not enough for achilas pras.
Right. Okay. So that's out. It did not pass the most minimal. It's really now, the nothing is really a nothing. Before it was kind of like a nothing, but it was a something. And here we say it's not a something, it's a real complete nothing. Keep on going. The Hacht of Shmeisin. Yes.
והאחת שמעתין יש לפרש טעם כעיקר טעם ממש דבעיל שערי, ובשאר קודשים אסר, ובשאר קודשים אסר. So in our sugya in Gita Nashe,
Right.
The Tom Kicker that we're talking about with the El Nazir is a case of ta'am mamish that it's mutter to eat.
When you say Tom Amish, what does that mean?
As in there's a portion of the El Nazir that goes only to that's kochim that goes only to Kohanim and still it gives flavor to the other part of the aisle, which is eaten by Zarim, and that's fine.
No, and what does mamish there mean? Tom Mamish shows a funny thing.
Significant, maybe something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uvishar coach. Okay, v'hu adinami debechulin. V'hu adinami bechulin.
Period. Right.
Mikra de mishras.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Right. V'hu adinami bechulin mikra de mishras v'hadanakat kochim mishum de bekodshim iri.
Yeah. It's not limited to Kachim. He's
Right.
explaining away that thing. It happens to fall in Kachim, but it's a universal principle. The hashta.
L'psak Rabbeinu Tam im nishbach harotev ve'en yadua im haya bo shishim have sfeika d'oraisa ve'asrinan le u'l'psak Rashi have sfeika d'Rabbanan v'shari ad kan. So now
Okay, this has to be explained. Okay, go ahead.
right. So this is sort of where the rubber hits the road on the d'oraisa d'Rabbanan piece
Right.
in a non-Malkos world.
Mhm.
That if you have basically a case of suffix of a pot that's spilled and you're not sure if it had shishim, since it's a sfeika d'oraisa for Rabbeinu Tam, you can't have it. But since Rashi,
No way you can't have it. It was us, right?
it's us, yeah.
Yeah, no, right. Okay.
But since Rashi demoted it to D'Rabbanan, it's a sfeika d'Rabbanan l'kula and it's mutter.
So say it again though, so we all get it. Just say it again.
So if Tam Ki'ikr is Deoraisa like Rabbeinu Tam, in a case of suffix, you have to be machmir and you can't eat the spilled soup. But if Tam Ki'ikr is Deorabanan like Rashi, then in a case of suffix, you can be mekil and eat it.
Big difference. Big difference. Yeah, as you said. Now let's go through a Rambam.
But that's min b'sheino mino.
That's mean b'sheino
Yeah.
mino. Right. And mean b'sheino mino, of course, has become a way for us evaluating mean b'mino. So the mean b'sheino mino becomes a very important principle. The Rambam. Okay. Jacob, you there about Rambam?
Where's the Rambam?
Well, for me, I don't know if you have the end of the page. The Rambam.
Skipping, you're saying.
The Rambam Ktav B'Tar Tadvav Me'Machlet Asirot. Is that what we're looking for, Rambam?
Yeah, go
Oh, I
ahead.
see. You're skipping the Rashba. Just a little bit.
Well,
Yeah, fine.
yeah, I want to skip the rest. Okay. Yeah.
I just want to make one little comment that
Yeah.
at the very end of that piece that we didn't read, the tour said, the Beis Yosef says, and when it says in a tour, Rabbeinu Chaim, it really means, I mean, it says Rabbeinu Tam, it really means Rabbeinu Chaim.
Because they're chavrusas.
Because they're Chavrusas.
Yeah,
There's not much of a nafkamina between their.
that's
between
right. Anytime I get something wrong, I'll say, no, you meant Nachum dancing. That's what I'll say. It's the same thing. Okay. So come on, Jacob, read.
Okay, the Rambam Kitab.
Okay, we know that. Now,
Okay.
tell me what he reads. Caleb.
Chayv ha'klayot shenafal tocha grisin v'nimuach nimuach ha'chol tominat grisin im lo nitza behem tam chaylev hari elu mitarim ve'im nitza behem tam chaylev v'hayaba mam so hari elu asurin min haTorah.
Okay, when's the Osir Midiraisa? When's it Osir Midiraisa?
When there's the flavor and like it's significant. I don't know, there's actually a noticeable presence there with the Mama Show.
So that's the first case. Now the
Yeah.
second case in the Rambam says Nimsa Behem.
Nimsa behem tama velo aya behem
Yeah.
Mama Show hare sirin midivrei ofrim.
So what does he understand that lo mama show means? It means lo mama show,
Yeah.
no
It's-
mama show.
Yeah.
It's only that, but it's okay. Asurim midivrei sofrim.
So who is he like? The Rabbeinu Tam or Rashi?
Jacob answered.
This
And Nachum, continue with him. Go ahead. You can't just ask the question and go away. What?
Oh, I want him to answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels, it seems to me like we're making I can't remember, unfortunately, I can't remember what Greason is, if that's relevant, but it feels to me, I guess, if we're
Well, what's Rashi's opinion? And what's the Rabbeinu Tam's opinion about Tom
that-
Kaker?
that it's real Tom Kaker. Rashi holds Tom as not Kaker and it's permitted.
No. Be more careful.
Okay.
Everybody holds Tom Kicker as a thing. Question is what level of Isser it is.
Okay. Right. So Rashi holds that it's just Derabanan. Rabbeinu Tam holds that it's always Doraita. Right? Or-
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
if
then,
there's-
so how's the Rambam?
So I guess, it's hard to, how are we defining Mama Show here? That is the question.
we haven't really changed it, you know.
So
It says V'lo haya behen mamasho hare elu asur b'divrei sofrim.
yeah. So that's saying Tom Kicker. That's Rashi. Okay, yeah. Sorry,
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay,
Keep on
yeah.
going. Kesed hu mama show. Now we're going to get into it. Kesed hu mama show.
Ketzad hu Mama Show Kagon shehayamin hachelav kazayit b'chol gima ol beit zimina tarovot. Im achal min agrisin ha'elu kagimel beitzim hol v'yesh ba kazayit mina chelav loka shetaram ha'isor masho kayim.
And hey, Kayam means they're both alive. They're both working.
Exactly.
Aval.
Aval pachol megimel beitzim achin oto makinoto kod mardut midivreham.
Yeah, so
So,
what does lo mama show mean?
I mean, I guess that we just have but we don't have
Well, you
like
do.
Iker.
It's pachos. It's
Oh, it's
pachos.
Papa.
In other words, it's no mamish to really consider about. It's mamish, not mamish. But it really, it's pachos megimel beitzim.
Okay.
So therefore, something is there, but we consider it enough.
Okay, right, it's less than the, okay,
L'chein.
okay.
L'chein.
L'chein im lo haya b'taro zayet b'chol gimel beitzin, af al pi sheyesh behem tam chelav, achal kol hagdira, eino loka ela makat mardut. Ad kan l'shanel.
So what's this? What's the scenario? What's the scene? What's happening?
So there's a mixture,
The
but
food. Tarobas. There's a food. Yeah.
there's a food, but there's not a diet of Isser, all of it. So there might be Tom, but there's no Mama So. So yeah, Tom below Mama So. So you only have Maka Margaret, it's Asur Medivrei.
And before, yeah, it's you're right. It's usher, but you have malchus, but it's makas,
Yeah.
malchus mardus. Why is it
Right.
makas mardus?
Well, because it can't be.
You never had students like this? It's makas mardus for being a chazer. I'm not over any Easter.
No.
So I can eat more of this. I can eat more of this all the way through because I'm not over technically. But I don't
But
mean
it's Asur Rabbanan.
us.
Because Tom Kicker is Asur
But it
Rabbanan.
says,
Yeah.
What's the importance
I'm
of the whole
interested that it
bowl?
says word mardus and doesn't say the word, doesn't say, makos de Rabbanan or something.
Right.
But okay, fine. Venera, keep on going. Venera, I got
Venera
your point, Rabbi. Okay, Venera.
Venera Delol Ati Kurbeno Tom.
Okay, now that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now Isaac, you read. Venera de lo asi karabino tam.
Give me a second. I was highlighting something and then I lost my place.
Okay.
Here. No, here where.
Yeah,
Veniri de la atel Rabbeinu Tam, Taha'af al pi she'ein bo kazayit b'chtei achilat paras, mistar lo Rabbeinu Tam midaraita.
Whoa. Call Siman.
Kol zaman she'ein bo shishim.
Stop there. Call Siman chain boshishim. That's part of the phrase that we just read. Aval pi she'ein bo kazayis b'chtei achilat paras, mistar Rabbeinu Tam midaraita. Call Siman she'ein boshishim. There's two measures always going on, right? There's a measure of the Isur and there's a measure of the Heter. So he says, okay, you don't have the measure of the Isur, maybe you think you're off, or Meta Moses Rabbanan, right? But he says, if you don't have the measure of the Beetle, which is Shishim, then it's still in play in terms of us Isur. That's what he's saying, right? Just read again. The ha'afal pisha ain bokazais echilat pras. You might think, oh, okay, I'm free. Mitzvah Rabbeinu Tam midiraisa calls man shem boshishim. But if the beetle is not fully there, then what have you done? You've done something wrong. You've done an Easter diraisa. Ubiyeshbo.
Shbo kazayit b'chtei achilat paras. Nami l'Rabbeinu Tam mechayev al achilat kazayit. Bila harambam lo mechayev.
No, okay, start there. And what's he saying here? Ubiyeshbo kazayis l'chdei achilas pras.
Okay. And in a situation, where did I go? Okay, so if you do have this kazayit of Easter, then according to Rabbeinu Tam, you're chayav for eating any kazayit of it. So
Or Rambam, now he's making differentiation. Or
Yeah.
Rambam,
Harambam lo mechayav al sheichal keshalosh beitzim.
yeah, well, Shlosh Beitzim, a lot more than a Kazayas.
Yeah.
Right, in other words, so the minimum of Rabbeinu Tam to be over is a Kazayas, and the Rambam has Shlosh Beitzim. Aval Rashi,
Kirashi ate shapir, the afal gavdi svar Rashi de late le rava ta'am ki kar bechulin, hane mile kashe ein sham ela ta'amo shel isur bilvad, below mamasho. Aval kashe yesh sham ta'amo umamasho, dahenu ki it bech kazayit bise achilat paras, peshita de midioraita asur.
Umilke,
Lake aleh.
stop.
Kida amar Rabbi
No,
Yochanan.
no, fine, so what's going on?
Okay, so which is to say, Rashi says that Rava does delete. He doesn't hold like Rava. There's no Tam Ikar in Hulin. Rather,
And Rava doesn't hold. There's no time to Iker B'chulin.
right, but Rashi doesn't hold like Rava. Yeah.
Well, let's see.
So
Sorry.
she'ein sham ela ta'amo shel isur.
Mhm.
And so we're talking about a situation where there's only the ta'am of the isur and not the mamashut. But in a situation where you have the ta'amo and the mamashut, if there's a kazayit, then it's a surda raita. So I guess you're right.
So how does our understanding of Rashi from before is changed now? Ask the group. This is a new iteration of, or a new chap on Rashi. Yeah, Josie?
So we started with Rashi feels that Tam Kikar Durabanan, and now we have a case where Tam Kikar Midoraita, when it's Tam Kikar plus Mamasho, when there's something, the taste is there and you've got a little bit of it in there. That seems to be
Right.
what.
And right, right. And now we can go on. In fact, Josie read. Rabbi Yochanan.
Oh, sure. Hold on, I just move my ruler. Give me just a second here. I just
The parentheses. There's a little parentheses about a Zara Samach.
because I Pshita Nereta Asura Milke Lake Ale. Keda Alma Rabbi Yochanan in Avodah Zara. Kol Sheta'amo Mamasho Asur Velokin Alav. So anytime that there is taste and actual physical stuff there, it's clearly forbidden, and you receive lashes for it. V'zehu kazayit b'kadei achilat paras. And how much is this? This is a kazayit in during achilat paras. Umine nishma.
Umina. And from this, yeah.
Umina nishma de ta'amo v'lo mamasho. The ein lokin alav. Hainu ein bo kazayit b'kadei achilat paras. So the havamina is that if we're saying that it's tamo, but there's no mamasho, and we're not giving somebody lashes for it, it's because we don't have a kazayit b'kadei achilat paras. We don't have this sort of minimal amount of, like there's a minimal amount of stuff that constitutes mamasho, and we're not there. So it's not mashu. It's actually kazayit b'kadei achilat paras. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying continue. Yeah,
Okay. Uvaho kamar de late le larava ta'am ki ikar bechulin midoraita vafilu nid arev sham gufo shel isur.
So when does Rava? Then you're going back. That's Rashi going back to Rava. When does Rava say that we don't apply the principle of Tam Ikar. In what way? We don't apply Tam Ikar in Chulin. We don't say there's no derisive principle. In which case is that? When there's Ein Bo Kazayas.
When we don't have Mama Show and less than the Kazayat.
But according to this, what Rashi holds in any other case?
If you had more than that, if you had Mama Show, then it would be Midoraita.
And how much is Mama Show? For the
Kazayat could be.
well, it depends Gimel or Daled. Gimel or Daled. That's a very big difference. It also resolves a lot of problems here. Who's talking? Anybody want to say something? Okay, let's take 5. I missed something in the last few words of this whole section, comparing Rambam to Rabbeinu Tam. Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam. Anyway, that last few words is right. We said part. If it doesn't have a kazayas, so the words before, that's like a very important point. So you had the gufo shel isur mixed with the heter, and then all of a sudden you could say it's only tam. Well, if no kazayas shel isur is left there, it's in order. So he's taking care of a havamina that you might have. You might have a havamina if there was a whole bunch of isur. Excuse me, yeah, a whole bunch of isur of mama shel isur. You would have thought that. Okay, you would have thought that it's that counts. It doesn't count. Okay, aval haran. Okay, very good. Aval haran.
Can I just ask quickly before we move on?
Right.
In the sort of new understanding of Rashi here,
Yeah.
we're saying that if there's mamish, which is a kazayis, then he does think deoraisa, but anything under kazayis, he's still tam kik or drabanan. Is that right?
If it's under.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to talk about. In other words, I'm thinking out loud here. What's there to think about if there's less than a? It'd be mutter. Why would it be usher? It'd be mutter. The person eating it would be not over any avera because it doesn't exist.
What
The
is
Ran,
it?
the
It's not
Ran,
on the
Ran
Ran
will
the
say
show?
something- the Ran, I think, will say something that might be important about this. That's where I'll go. This. Caleb, start with Aval Haran because the pair Gita Nosha.
Aval Haran katav בפרק גיטנאסה, מין שאינו בינו, כל היכה שנתערב גופו, ויהיב טעמה, אפילו באלף, אסור מדרבנן,
Right.
כדאמר רבא, פרק התערבות, מין שבאינו מינו בטעמה, ובוודאי, מדרבנן,
And then he's going to say it's a parallel when it says "Matkamar min b'mino beruba u'shmamino demin demitarei b'shelo mino begufa." Okay, sorry. In other words, it means I'm talking on a derisa level. Sorry, we're talking on a derisa level. It's very important. The Ran's talking on a derisa level. U'shmamina. So skip a line down. U'shmamina. It says "Min b'sheno mino." You read "Min b'sheno mino b'tama b'vade b'diraisa klamar." Skip down one line. Ushma mina. It's the next line. It's about 4 words in, 5 words in.
I'm not seeing it.
Okay, I'll read for a moment, and you'll see when you catch up, okay? Ushma mina, the mean shenisarei
B'she'enu mino
Okay, you gotta read.
b'gufo.
Yeah,
U'b'ta'ama efilu aleph, aleph,
yeah,
asur mederaita.
right.
The
Right. So even it writes, if it's, so what does it say? The gufa, as well as ube tam, as well as tam. I think you should read it. I feel bell plus Rabbi Raisa. Go on. The Eika.
the i'ika kazayit, the kadi achilat kras, lochem.
Okay. In
Lecha,
other words, that's enough for you to get Malkos, which seems to be a full Raisa transgression. The Leka,
the lecha kazayit, b'kadei achilat kras, asur mederaita.
Mihu.
Mihu de'ein lokin alav.
Okay, stop. So the Leka Kazayas, the doesn't have a Kazayas amount. It's less than a Kazayas. It's no, there is a transgression. Osir Midiraisa. By the way, that's a Chatzi Shiur. A Chatzi Kazayas. We'll see, you've seen it, we'll see it again. A Chatzi Kazayas. It's Osir because of Kazayas. Oh, I'll just eat half of it because there's a Chatzi Kazayas. Chatzi Kazayas for Isurim is Osir. And but there's no Malkos. Malkos only comes when you've really eaten something which is a Kazayas.
Can I ask a question? We have a question.
Below.
Can I ask a
Isaac had a
question?
question.
Yeah.
So when we say Achatzi Shiur is still Aser,
Yeah.
based on this, what we just read, it's not Davka Chatzi Shiur. It's like anything that's less but still exists. Like
yes.
any value between like 0.0001 and 1 is Chatzi Shiur.
Okay.
Is that
Chatzi Shiur means
Yeah.
less than 1 shiur, less than a full shiur, less than a kazayas. Okay,
Thank you.
fine. That works. Yeah. Or even a third of a kazayas, as opposed to chetzi kazayas. The low.
Lo yehi ta'ama, shi'ora b'shishim.
Okay.
Yeah.
The hecha.
V'hecha she'nidarev b'davar ta'amo v'lo mamesho hayinu tam ki'ikar shalafi shitat Rabbeinu Tam hu mederaita. Lafi shitat Rashi mederabanan adchan lamar.
Stop that. I can't stop there.
Oh.
So how do we sum up this part? What does he say here at the end? The quotation of the Ran. We should say, look at it again. Below Yahiv Taima, Shiur B'Shishim. Okay? But you still have the Shishim because, for what reason? Because you have a mama show of something, right? So the Shiur is B'Shishim. The Hecha Shenisare B'Davar B'Dvar Ta'amo, the low mama show. But if there's a case in which it's Tam and no mama show at all, Ainu Tam Ki'ikar, Shalafi Shitat Rabbi Tam, that's the Raisa. Rashi says, okay, yes, you have it's Tam Ki'ikar, whether it's on a Deraisa level like Rabbi Tam or bottom level like Rashi. Let's skip now to the Rashba. And let's get to his definition of Tam Ki'ikar. Veha Rashba, I'm going back to you, Ori. Veha Rashba. I'm skipping that next section. It's interesting, but we don't need it. Veha Rashba. Basaf.
You gotta find the place.
Okay.
Mashma B'dvarav, we're skipping.
Rashba is if you have it's a big black letters here.
Unfortunately, I'm not in the book. Oh, here. Umashikata Varashpa?
Rashba Kotav Bechidusha.
Oh, no. My book is coming in the mail today. Oh, here it is.
Yeah,
Varashpa Katav Bechidushav.
Uperush.
Uperush Tam Kikar. Kegon Shelo Nitarev Sham Begufo Shel Isur. So that's Tam Kikar is an
Keep on reading
example.
3 more words.
Okay, Ela Tamo Bilvad. Right, so there was
So what is the Rashba here for us?
The case of Tam Kikar is always a case where there's no gufo. It's just
So he's
Tam
a
Bilvad.
radical literalist or whatever,
Makes sense.
radical reform, that's, I mean, in a more classical sense of reform. He's a radical reformer. Let's just go to what it's supposed to mean and all that. Don't give me any mamish stuff, right? Tom K'ikar means he's a champion of Tom K'ikar in my mind. Tom K'ikar means Tom alone does not need to ride on the basis of Mama's show. Even if the Mama, and even if, of course, the other opinions have to deal with the fact that it says Tom K'ikar. It doesn't say Tom Mama's K'ikar. So yeah, it's Tom K'ikar. The rest of them say, but means Gimel Beit, less than Gimel Beit. Oh, maybe it's a Kezias, or maybe it's some Pelimps. You have to look up that word again. It's just even less than that, but that's enough to make that's enough to make the Tom work. No, Tom K'ikar. I'm sorry, I'm championing him. I feel it's about time. That he comes up with it. It means Tamo Bilvad. Shalom Nitarev Sham Gufo Shel Yisur. Elatamo Bilvad. Uketanya.
Mishras litin tam kiikar. So in the cases of Mishra Navim, that would give taste. She'im shara navim b'mayim v'yesh b'hem ta'am yain. So that's a case. That's a good example of that kind of case where
Right. All is you got the time. Go on. V'inami.
Just the time. There's nothing else you can detect. V'inami yesh bo yain she'avad v'miuto. Or I guess also a case where the wine would totally disappear.
Right?
כגון שנפה טיפת יין בתוך מים ואין בו מראה יין, שעבד ממשו, מחמת מיעוטו. So that's another
So
example.
that's even the mar'eh's not there. That's Tom K'ikar.
Yeah. וכגון בשר שנפל לתוך יורש של חלב, ונתן הבשר טעם בחלב, והחלב בבשר.
Okay, I'm reading. Keep on going because
that's like a different case, I feel like, but okay. וכדאמרינה בפרק אלו עוברין, בשר בחלב לאו טעמהו. ואסור.
No, it's a quoting from Pesachim. One wants to know about Tom K'ikar, and they say, "Oh, you want a proof about Tom K'ikar? Basar b'cholav lav tama ba'almahu." Wouldn't you say basar b'cholav in terms of what happens to the cholav is Tom K'ikar, and nonetheless it's usher without any mama show. So that's how it is there. So it's sorry, basar b'cholav lav tama ba'almahu ba'usher. Question mark, exclamation mark. What's wrong with you? That's the best and easiest example. You just said it's different. Over here, he's saying that's the best place. But
is that a case where you pull the meat out so there's no mamish?
What he's going to say in a moment is, okay, what he's saying now is that he's emphasizing the chol part, but we'll talk about
I see.
it.
Right, the chol has no mamish basar. Right. Okay. Uperik kol basar gabe tipat chalav shenafla al chaticha. Amar Abaye shma mina ta'amo velo mamasho be'alma doraita.
Whoa!
So in that Gemara, when you have just a drop of,
and right for that drop of milk, right, and that's all it is. Ba'alma, that's all it is. Well, and it's deraisa. Umatzasi.
Rabotenu ba'alei Tosfot zal Demishum isur chalav, kari lebasar bechalav.
That's why it's
Ta'amo
called
v'lo mamasho.
basar, not in jelly beans, basar b'chalav. In other words, the impact of the basar into the chalav,
Mhm.
which is next word, 3
Ta'amo
words,
v'lo mamasho.
was tam lo mamasha. And that's why it's called basar b'chalav. Cute. Next time people ask you what basar b'chalav means, or you see someone that's Talmid Chacham, ask them what basar b'chalav means. The real meaning of basar b'chalav is the time of the basar in the chalav. That's what's called basar b'chalav.
Yeah, chalav. Mhm. That's good.
Okay, b'ol mamasho, okay.
The bechalav ein yachol liot bo mamasho shadavar ela ta'amo. In the milk itself, there is
Yeah,
no
by
other
the way, so
thing.
when you get your Gemara, Tamo shel basar, it's not supposed to be davar, it's supposed to be basar. Ela tamo. There's
Okay.
nothing there except the time. There's no basar there except for the time. V'afal
V'afal pichin asur.
right. Even
Aval
so,
b'matzah.
aval. Now
Aval,
this is mostly this you put in brackets. This brackets start now. Aval.
בבשר אפשר להיות ממשו של חלב, שגוף החלב נבלע הוא בתוך הבשר. So yeah, in the inverse,
Yeah, it curdles.
a little bit of milk gets in there.
Right. V'chein.
וכן גאולי נוכרים.
More proof of this whole notion. V'chein.
גאולי, should I say midyan?
Okay, guli goyim. Jane.
גויים שאין שם אלא טעם האיסור, שנבלע בכלי, ולא ממשו.
Now we're getting to something. So where we move now to? What kind of discussion we move to?
Kalim.
Kalim.
Ta'am, and there's no food to be seen.
Impact on Kalim. V'chein perish Rashi.
וכן פירוש רש"י, טעמו ולא ממשו, שנזכר בתלמוד.
No, anyway, he also gives it out. Nira midvara.
נר מדבריו שאף על פי שנתערב שם גופו של איסור, כל שנמחה ואין ממשו נמצא, ואין ממשו נמצא.
I'm sorry, so going back to our original conversation, and we'll see further on. But it's mentioned here that kol shenimcha ve'ein mamasho nimsa. Right? We had that before, right? It's not. There's no hecker. You can't be accurate. You can't see
like
it.
The wine too.
You can say, "Oh, there must be little tiny bits of butter." All it's invisible to the eye. We don't. Oh, invisible to the eye. It's nothing to us. It's all empirical. Kagon.
כגון יין שעבד ממשו מחמת מיעוטו.
Right. Korile.
קרילה. ולא נתערב שם גופו.
Yeah. לא נתערב
שם גופו של איסור אלא טעמו בלבד.
Okay. And then he says, this is maybe what the Ran was saying, but I'm not sure.
אפשר שלזה נתכוון הר"ן, אבל לא משמע כן מדבריו ז"ל שם. Okay.
So we went back. We had the Rashba, then we had the Ran in the middle. We go back to the Rashba, Tam Kikar, plain Tam, exclusively Tam. Okay.
Okay, but the Rashba agrees with.
Keep on reading.
This is all still with Tosfos, though, right?
What?
Is Rashba in general still like Tosfos, though?
You tell me. Tosfos says
that
what?
It's Tam Kikar is Midoraita. He's just saying that the cases of Tam Kikar are all these like there's no mamasho.
Yeah.
Literally.
So is that like Tosfos? I'm asking.
I thought so.
And everybody else? Nachum, is he right? Are you with me?
I think so. I think he's right.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he's
right.
I think he's just.
Cases that.
I think he's trying to show that the Rashba is not like the Ran. I think that's what he's trying to show.
Okay.
That he doesn't make the same distinction that the Ran makes between Mamasho being batel and Elif.
Thank you.
The Ran says if there's Mamish there, then Eva feel about Elif. And he's trying to say that that's the Rashba doesn't hold like that.
Was it to now mentioning Mishras? What does that do to our unfolding of this whole discussion? We had Mishras before, and now we have Mishras again. What happened to Mishras before? What did we do?
said it was an asmachta.
Asmachta. What's it doing over here?
I thought it was just a good case of lo mamasho, because there's nothing you can see. It's just ta'am. So it's I don't know
Okay.
if we're
All right,
learning from it or it's just a good example.
That's well said. That's well said. I wanted to think. I want to think that now they're back to a derisa, which follows Rabbeinu Tam, follows the Balei Tosfos. Then now you can reintroduce that on this high level of derisa, and that they're not asmachta. Does that fit? What do you think? Don't
I'm
bother
not
you?
sure. I think
Yeah.
it was just in the list of examples of a clear case where there's no mamasho because you just literally can't see it, and it's just ta'am.
Okay. I'm after hearing what you have to say, I'm not positive. I think I still would push what I said because it fits in with the Tosfos, it fits in with the opinion. But you know, your reading is a good reading. Okay, let's go on. Umasha Amar Rashba.
Umasha Amar Rashba Shekein Pirish Rashi ta'amo v'lo mamasho Akira de Milta
Akira de Milta Koi.
Ikra de Milta Kai.
He's going on a basic Ikar. Below.
ולא למה שכתב בשם התוספות, שהרי במאי דאמרינן בפרק אלו עוברין, בשר בחלב לאו טעם
No, Lav Tambahu, you know.
בשר.
Well, isn't it Usser, right?
Right, לאו טעם בשר.
Right. And then it goes on. Basar Shnibashel Bechelav.
יש בשר שנתבשל בחלב,
No,
והבשר,
well,
או בחלב,
I
בשר
guess-
שנתבשל בחלב, והבשר בעיני, אלא שטעם החלב נבלע בו.
which is Tamo.
טעמו
Which is-
וממשו.
Usser. They ain't walking the love. They ain't walking the love.
read בפרק בת דאבות. זר טעמו ולא ממשו אסור ואין לו קין עליו.
Kagon Chalov.
יש כגון חלב שנפל לקטרה, או חלב נימוח שאין ממשו באין.
No, must be Chayov again. Chayov Shenafal Kadera, or Chayov Shenafal Nimuch, Shein, Mamasho.
Right, נימוח שאין ממשו.
What's this addition here at the end? Also, the following one thing. I don't think it's saying anything much. I don't know, maybe I got to say it. Lexi, do you have anything on this? I don't think it's saying anything. Let's just give you other places. Umasha Merabenu Achi Yehe Betoch Kol Arba Beisim Mina Heter Kazais Mina Yisur. Zehu Shir Achilas Pras Ladas Katsas Poskin. Ladas Rabam it's Shlosha Beisim. Okay, so we got that. Go to the bottom, the cost of a rashba. Okay, so now we're going to a different topic, and that's the topic of splish splash. You know, things spill. We're going to that. The cost of a rashba. So are we there?
We should probably read it in the tour. Let's read it in the tour first.
Yeah, we're in the next seat in the tour.
Okay. Okay, who's gonna read? Okay, Jacob, reading the tour.
The honey mili se'eno lefnenu kigon shenishpach.
No, wait. Go read
No, but
from
the
where it says
Kasav
Kasav
Harashba.
Harashba.
Oh,
In
in
the
the
tour.
Oh,
Upstairs.
sorry.
Go Summer Rockfall.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
So I'm trying to find it in the
tour.
tour.
Because
Yeah.
of Rashi, but-
Rashba, im nitarab mino, uvis eno v'nishpach.
Okay, what are the three Gormim? What are the three participants in this?
So we have something that's I guess we're already seeing is Isser.
We have
And then-
mean that's usher, okay?
Yeah. So it's falling into a mixture of mean that
Mino and Shano Mino, right?
Yeah.
And so do we do in terms of beetle.
Wait, come up with a concrete example. What's a concrete example?
I guess
Caleb and
a type of I don't know. Get Hanasha falling into a
Don't
pot.
use Gitanasha.
Okay.
Use something else.
Start with Nun. Let's start with a Basar Nevela.
Yeah, Basar Vela falling into a mixture of meat and I don't know, soup,
Meat and
Vegetables,
potatoes.
vegetables,
Meat and
potatoes,
vegetables, yeah.
Meat and potatoes.
Falls into your children.
So you have two things that are the same mean and one that's not, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Roim,
Roim et eno mino ilu eno. V'tolen lomar she mino hayarov nitbatel.
we need Batel. Stop there.
Wait,
So-
you said that it's Nishpach, right? You read that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, the nishpach, right? It's spilled. We see.
Why is that important? Why is it important that it's Nishpach?
Because we don't have it in front of us to really know what the exact ratios were, or to be able to really,
Good, go on.
yeah.
You're right to answer. Thank you. Yeah.
So we see what Enomino, like it's Enomino,
Which is the Edomino in your example?
I guess the potatoes.
Yeah.
And we hold to say, that the Mino was the majority and it is Bafeld Enomino.
Yeah. Or the Mino, the mean. You say
Yeah.
the mean is the spatel in the Mino, and we're forgetting about the Enomino,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Kihechi,
Kiheche Jamrinan Ronet Mino Iu Eno Lahakel. This Eno Mino Rabalav Mivatlo. The Mandi Le Mino Lovatel. Okay. So we say like
he basically gives you two ways of reading it,
exactly.
depending upon two sheetas. What are the
Right.
two sheetas?
Well,
Align up shita with the way it's being read.
okay, so the first case is if we're saying mean bimino batel. So that's when we see Rowanet say no mino ilu eno. And then we say Shimino Hayarov. And then when we say where we need to say shit eno Mino is Rabba from Vatlo, that's when we're saying mean bimino lo vatil because it will
Right.
be, yeah.
Very good. Okay. So now let's go to the Beis Yosef. He starts with Lashon Zeh. And he quotes Nishbach, etc. B'tolim Omar, Shemino Haya Rov, and Ipatel. By the way, how do you understand the word tolim?
Like
What does totally
we're
mean? What does totally mean?
folding, but it's almost like we're making it relying on taloi like a condition.
It's not
It's
totally.
not.
Tole is not, that's good. Well, yeah, it's probably the same word. It is the same word. Tole, you kind of hang it. You
Yeah.
suspend it. You suspend it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like you're putting it up. Let me put it up there this way.
Yeah.
Here's an expression. Let me
In
put it
English,
up there.
I think in English you would say suppose. You would suppose. We
Oh,
suppose.
suppose. Good. I was trying to keep the meaning of the word tole.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's put it up there and you try this. I'm putting it up there. Okay, suppose. Lashon zeh. Because
I'm trying to find that in the Beit Yosef. I'm on all Torah, so I'm trying to. Lashon zeh shekatav Rabbeinu b'shem Harashba.
yeah,
Eino mekave.
Eino mechuvan. It's screwed up. Shanira.
Yeah. Shanira menu she'afal pi shelo yadanu im harov hayam imisha imino tolan lahakil.
V'omrim.
V'omrin shemimino haya harov.
V'efshar.
V'efshar lomar kach im kain svekahu. V'le l'mitle l'chumra.
Right. In other words, what's the problem with the Torah? Is that we think it's the first thing that we need to encounter. Is there a rub there?
Yeah.
And if you want to say, well, maybe but that's a suffix already. And what's the suffix? It's a suffix to erase.
Exactly.
The ode.
The im kain my team damrina and ronet me ilu eno v'fulai.
Yeah, what's this supposing, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
The hatam v'sha anu yodim v'vadai she'eno mino rabba lab dafkahu. So that there's when we certainly know that the she'eno mino is majority, and it's specifically that case.
Hilkach.
Hilkach.
So you have his own reading. Changes the reading.
Hilkach al kain lo iri harashba ella b'shaya dua shamino hayarov ella desalcha daita chamina the kevan shehu gam kain murav im she'enu mino lo atil k'mas malan ronet mino ki'ilu enu.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah. So therefore the Rashba only says this when he knows that the Mino is the majority. But you might think to say that since it was also mixed with She'eno Mino, it wouldn't be Batel. So it comes teach us we see the She'eno Mino.
What are we afraid of? What do we fear? Therefore, they have to bring this case.
We're afraid of. We know that. We know that the Mino is, I guess, rove in comparison to the Basar Novela, I guess. But we're not sure, because it's going to be falling into a mixture with Mino, we're not actually sure if it's going to be Batel.
Right. It mixes up the process.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And therefore, rowing, which seems to make sense now.
Yeah.
Rowing, right, Eno Mino Ke'eno, because it's already Eno Mino.
Yeah.
And so we can do that. We can do it to, I would say, to add to that, it sounds like it's plausible, or a way of saying it is that the mean goes to its Mino. Those two
Mhm.
go, they
Yeah.
they interact. They're the ground up, I don't say ground up, they're of the same type. They go to each other and the anomino is there and it's lurking, ready to be part of it. Let's say it's oil and water. Oil is floating, and then that's the anomino. So we go to the two means, and that's how it's.
Mhm.
Kamashon roi is anomino kilo eno. Diheche, no, v'chein. Go 3 lines down, okay,
Okay.
where it says v'chein poshut b'lashon harashba.
The same pasuk b'lashon Raspa שכתב יראה לי שאם נפל לתוך מינו ושאינו הולכים בו להקל, כל זמן שנתברר לנו שריבה התר שהוא מינו עליו. דהקיימה מין במינו ושאינו מינו, רון את מינו כמי שאינו להקל. והשאר שאינו מינו רבה עליו ומבט לו. והוא הטעם כאן דאמרינן רון את שאינו מינו כמי שאינו, והשאר מינו רבה עליו ומבט לו.
So why do we pick the mino to remain and that she'eno mino to go away, according to, and why not pick it the other way around and say that the mino, like it's not there, and the she'eno mino?
Well,
maybe a step before that. Why would you ever think that the she'eno? I made the place before that the mean goes to mino because they're the same type. Why should you ever think that we really want to keep the she'eno mino? What is it? Why would the she'eno mino have primacy before the mino to react to the mean? Is there a swar that way?
Well, you could say because the tom could be noticeable if they're different types.
Right, I think that's the case. Mean and mino, they're the same. They're the same. So we'll say, the she'eno mino comes, which is really different, and takes care of it. However, they pick mean b'mino as being the dynamic that we're interested in, and we toss away the she'eno mino. Is there a reason for that, Nachum?
Well, I wanted to say something a little bit different. I want to say, let's look at, there's a very short Bach that I think explains this piece of the tour much better or much more clearly. If we go back, for me, you have to turn a page over, back, Bach Zion. If you look there, it says,
Go.
it's a very short little piece, and he said, I'll read it. He says, "Kasav Arashba she'im nitarev v'chulei tolin lomar shemino haya rov v'nitbatel." He says, "Perush." Let me explain this to you. Kishiyadua shemino haya rov. You know that you had rov of mino. This is the case. You know that. El she'enu yodea im haya sham shishim. You don't know if there's shishim. Why don't you know if there's shishim? Because why don't you know if there's shishim? Chelsea?
Because it's spilled out.
Exactly. You don't know if there's shishim. Normally, if you have shishim, you would go. Remember, we learned you jump the kifa and everything. You take everything against the isser. So you would take the minnow, the eno minnow, all of that together, that whole smorgasbord. If you have 60 against the thing, you're finished. But this is a case where you don't have 60 with it all together. But maybe you did have 60 before it's nishbach. So he says, again, so she'enu yodua im, I'm going back a little bit, enu yodua im hayasham shishim, you don't know. So then what do we say? Tolin lomar lekula. So we'll be mekel. How will we mekel? Kevan shemino hayarov. Since we do know for sure that we have a majority of minnow. So in the world of minnow, it's for sure mutter deraita, because there's enough minnow to mevatel. So we're already out of any chashash of Isser B'Raita.
We
And now
already,
we're only-
we already have we already have.
And then once we have a Durabanan, we have a suffix. We have a suffix if we have 60 or not.
But that's already Drabanan, and therefore we'll cool.
Exactly, but that's already Durabanan.
Very good. Very
And
good.
so actually, if you want to go back to the two,
No, don't go too much. Just
Okay.
short. What are you gonna
That's
say? Okay, so listen, the beginning of Gimel says, Gimel says, "V'hani mili she'enu lefanenu," you know, "Kagon shenishbach about imhu lefanenu." What do you mean lefanenu? All the elements are in front of us. This is without nishbach, in front of us. El she'enu baki l'sharo, but he just can't figure it out. I feel, but the Rabbanan ain't telling Hakel. Even in the area of Rabbanan, we're not Mako. There's two reasons for that. And if you look in now the Beis Yosef, in the middle of Gimel, he says, V'kotzav Haran. Okay, it's right next to the brackets of Lamed He Lebet, Sov Dibur Rishon. V'kotzav Haran, it's like halfway through. V'kotzav Haran. You guys have it? Kotzav Haran? Why the distinction? Tamo shel davar mishum, the bedover she'efshar lamod alav, and something just he can't figure out. Iazlinan lakula, if you go lakula, Yehu kol ha'isurim besafek. Because you're always going to have this. Every suffix, well, I can't figure out, Rabbi. And what happens? V'kol achad yishaer b'ma'asha nira beinav. So everybody will figure out their own answer. L'fikach ruchachomim l'hashvot midotehem. Avo b'ma'asha eino ba ela bakrai. It's like a chaos theory. But in terms about nishbach, it's a chaotic moment. It's a cry. It's an accident. A cry ba'alma, which it's unusual. A cry actually. It's an unusual moment. Could go in nishbach harotav, right? Yosef Dorimelo, those kind of things. Azlinu l'kula. There's another shot on this, that this is the suffix of it being lefanenu is not a suffix. It's a dat hedyotot or a dat shotim. It's like, so you're a fool. You can't figure it out. Why are you bothering the halacha with that? Why should we give you lakul? It's a dat shotim. And there's a third element that, so the first element is like public policy. If we grant this suffix, and then when everything's in front of us, and we say we should go lakula, then it's going to be a bad public policy for halachic observance. The second one that I said was, what did I say? That it's a das,
Not a suffix. It's
das
just a-
shotim. In other words, not our fault. And the third element is, which is kind of like the second, but it says in a different way, that it's not a real suffix. It's not a suffix. Your inability is not a suffix. All right. Okay. What do you have? Lexi, what do you have?
Well, just regard to the previous question about comparing this scenario to the one in the Gemara of the mean and mino and she'eno mino, that's seleket mino, that the Taz has a good summary both of the Maharshal,
Yeah, right.
the critique that we mentioned, which is that part of what's really different here is that whereas in the Gemara, like the idea that only matters because mim b'mino is b'mashahu, and that's a gzeira, right? But like we're saying, ultimately, if you are like seleket mino, then we're saying you still need shishim in the eno mino to mavatel it. So there will absolutely be no tam in that mixture. And we're just saying that we don't say it can never be nullified because of the mino. Whereas here, he's like, no, like as we've been discussing extensively, like according to the majority of opinions, tam ikar is doraita. And so what does it matter if you say the seleket she'eno mino, and you just say it can be batal barov in the mino, then like should we not be worried that there just like might be mamish flavor that is present in the Enomino, but the Taz is basically like, no, right? We get to conceptually treat it as if it's been buttled in the Mino first. And this is specifically, again, because we're dealing with an actual suffix, as you've just said, not the suffix of I can't measure, but like the suffix of Nishbach, where it's possible that there was 60 in the Enomino to begin with, that like, given the possibility of that and this kula of like min b'mino batel berov d'oraita, it's like I think the Rashba is correct. I think the same thing should apply here.
Same, give a full sentence, that's the same.
But the same principle of being able to remove the element conceptually that would make it potentially impossible for it to be batel, and just considering it as being in relationship to the thing that would batel it should apply here as well, even though the stakes are theoretically a little different.
So I would just say, to conclude, in terms of one explanation, there's the public policy that we go to Chumrah, that we're afraid of everyone in their inability to do something correctly will create a suffix everywhere, and we'll give them a kula everywhere, and then it's bad for the system. But then in this conversation, particular conversation, in which we're talking about what are we going to consider not being there, and the fact that we're going to consider something not being there, we do it on the purpose to be lakula. So we have the notion to range forth for lakula in individual situations that are at least understandable, but that are understandable, but not within situation. But so therefore, we're able to do. Should reverse it? We're able to go lakula in the unfortunate situations, but in the situations we should control. I think I'll say it that way. We should control. Having said that, time controls everything. So yeshakaya, and we'll write you and tell you how we do the next part.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.